Alright, here we are on day 9. Today I'm going to try leaving the camera set up so that I can just kind of record thoughts throughout the day here. So there's a movie called Intangible Asset number 82, I believe is the number, but it's definitely called Intangible Asset number something. It's a movie, it's on Netflix, you can check it out. It's a movie I think every musician, drummer or not, should see. It's about an Australian drummer, I believe that's where he's from, Australian drummer, who discovers the music of this Korean master drummer and is inspired to take a journey to try and find this guy, and takes many different trips to Korea and just even try and contact him. He's sort of a mysterious figure, but this guy has been declared an intangible asset by the government. They, all of their national treasures or whatever are declared intangible assets, and this guy is one of them. Yeah, it's just it's really cool. He finds several other master musicians along the way and learns kind of all these different things, and it's a pretty incredible journey. But there's a point where these master drummers, he's talking about observing one of their ceremonies that lasts for 3 days, and the guys are just drumming continuously for 3 days, and he says it's like they get to a point to where the drumming itself sustains them, and so that's one of the things that I had hoped to maybe catch a glimpse of when I'm doing these 40 days. We'll see if I can even come close to that. Like I said, I don't come from a spiritual tradition of drumming, but am intrigued by it. Music has in a lot of ways been spiritual for me, but it's mainly just through my own experience. It's not like a handed down tradition that's very well established, with someone who can kind of guide me along the way. It's all just figuring out stuff on my own. So yeah, this experience so far, I'm definitely feeling good about it, feeling uplifted, and like it's a good thing. Who knows if I'll achieve any of these other states or whatever, but guess it's a good time to find out, Alright, the toast is almost ready. Duck, 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 duck. Alright, so this is one of the first rhythms that I've written on my board here. Just something that I came up with. Boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, ba da, boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, ba da. But then listen to one of the little song ideas that I had made on my iPhone, and like it had almost the same beat, but it was just boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, boom, boom, bop, boom. So I changed it to that. Boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom. Excuse my sloppy penmanship there. So then that sort of became a focus of my rhythm, because I discovered that was difficult for me to do, like just the kick and snare without having a hi-hat there that had like a subdivision for me to bounce off of. So you take that away, and then the syncopations, the E's and U's or the in-betweens at the end there became difficult. So I wrote it out. That's what these X's and dots represent, is that rhythm. Butts, 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 butts. And then the words written under it, taki and takita, those are from the solfege for tabla. They have little sounds like this that represent different rhythms. So in this case, the two notes, one being played and one not, you would say taki. And I don't even know, I might be using this differently than the traditional way, because I think each sound actually represents a sound on the drum for them. So they would probably play ta as one sound and ki as another sound. In this case, I'm using it to represent the notes and the spaces, much like Benny Greb has a kind of rhythmic alphabet that uses a system like this, and then Billy Martin has a whole book called Rhythm that has all kinds of like rhythms like this. So yeah, over the past several days, I've been taki 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 ta, and then exploring different variations of it. Right now, really focused on what would be the second half of the measure, where the tas are in between. So taki 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 taki. So when taki 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 taki, and it's still, when I'm doing it even there's still like little fluctuations to it. So that's what I'm working on and trying to get that stuff like really solid. It's a big challenge for me, and it's ironic because there are rhythms and stuff that I've played on drum set, but usually I have an external thing. I've learned to depend a lot on the hi-hat, because I'll keep my foot going on the hi-hat, so then all the subdivisions are based around that. Really kind of lean on that as my timekeeper instead of myself being the timekeeper, whether or not some device is doing it for me. So that's what I'm working on. It's crazy to kind of have this realization that I'm this far along in the game, and I still, like, that's still so much of a problem for me, just basic subdivision stuff. So yeah, I'm working on that. Cool. A little break for some protein. Taking a quick break here after supper. I realize this is a long time, man. I'm on day 9. I have like 31 days after this. It's a whole month. So yeah, I really kind of I feel like I gotta get my focus back on the effortless nature of things, because feeling some sore hands and stuff. I've added conga technique, which I've never really done before. I've done it a little bit, but never like every day. So I'm doing that for like an hour and a half every morning, and sometimes at night as well. And my hands are starting to feel it from that. So you just got to be careful, because got this much more time to go. All right, end of day 9. First day that I just left the camera on all day because I'm not using the machines, as I call them, the click tracks and stuff. I was using the phone. I have some apps on the phone that I'll practice with as metronomes, and then I have Reason on the computer and all that stuff. GarageBand on the iPad. But since I'm not using that, I just left the camera on, and with this little app I can just press pause and then record again. So I just left it, and then I can kind of check in throughout the day, which is kind of cool. Makes for a little longer video, but hey man, it's my video. Yeah, end of day 9. A little tired, body tired, you know. Yeah, my bass drum technique, I've really been just like going back to zero with it. I feel like I'll make progress throughout the day, and then the next day it's almost like starting over again. Like there's sorenesses and stuff like that there that I thought I kind of got rid of. Basically, it's like I wasn't taught bass drum technique, you know. I just sort of figured it out on my own, and figured it out wrong. Some things I kind of figured out right, but other things, like just up in my thigh and hip flexor, there's a bunch of muscles that I was using that you don't really need to use. And those kind of got to the point to where they were just so used to being used, mainly like when I'm playing louder, which was a lot of my playing. They're so used to being used then that even when it was time to play soft and you don't really need those muscles, then they were still being used. And there's kind of a series of muscles that were all like connected and tense, and just causing all kinds of like unnecessary tension and pain in my hip and all that stuff. And so just been like slowly going through and finding out which muscles are activating, and I'll press on that muscle, the one that's like flaring up and feeling sore, as I'm playing, and then it kind of stops, or you know, it's like I'm able to send a signal to tell that muscle not to move. So that's pretty cool. You know, another 31 days of this, and I should have a new bass drum technique that's a lot easier. You know, I'm not even going for speed or anything like that right now. It's just really just playing 1 and 3 on the bass drum, playing quarter notes, just real slow, easy rhythms. Especially when I'm just working on my foot. Then throughout the day, sometimes I'll play some stuff that'll have doubles in it or something like that. Never too quick or too extreme or anything. And try to remain relaxed, but I know there's some of that tension creeps in again. But then, you know, so the next morning, then I kind of start over again with my technique. Yeah. I think I already said today, I'm realizing, you know, this is a long period of time I've kind of committed to do this. So it's, I'm trying to really like be careful and, you know, commit to the ease of it, you know, of making my playing easy. And I finally just figured out the best way to describe it is that basically I'm not going for learning a whole bunch new like what to play stuff. I'm not going through and like learning a whole bunch of new rhythms and new beats and new techniques and all of that. when I'm going back over everything that I already know and trying to change how I play. So it's going back to just some very simple stuff and like kind of relearning it and looking at it again, looking at it from different angles, like all the 16th note rhythms, you know, it's like they're all kind of rhythms that I understand and already know and stuff, but I'm trying to get them to a new level of confidence and ease at the same time. Um, so that's the main goal, you know, and with the thought in mind that I want whatever technique or whatever approach I have to the drum set, at the end of all this, I want it to be one that will like last me until I'm 80, that I can keep drumming, and drumming is just so easy for me that um, you know, I can keep doing it until I'm old, 80 or 90 or 100 or whatever. Yeah, it's a long journey, got a long journey ahead. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have this opportunity to do this. Um, it's now that I'm in it, it's kind of like unbelievable that actually this magic window opened up. Because I think it'll change the way I play and consequently change my life. You know, because it's such a big part of my life. Music is such a big part of my life and has been for so long that if I ultimately change it within my life, then my whole life is going to change. And a lot of it is the mental part of music, releasing the pressure that's been there for so long. Because since I was little, since I learned music, there's always been a pressure there. I learned in school. I didn't learn from my friends. I didn't learn from other musicians that I saw around the house. You know, I wasn't around musicians. I barely even knew like what a drum set was or how a drum set worked, you know, other than seeing Animal on the Muppets. And I liked Animal, so I was like, okay, that's cool, I'll do that. But then you get in school and it's just, they put a book in front of you and okay, you're going to count. This little thing means you hit, and this little thing means that you don't. And you say 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a real like intellectual thing. There's no kind of, we're not really even playing music to start with. We're learning how to read music to start, and then eventually that becomes playing music. But it's all playing music from a page. It was all based around assignments, and you know, you have this lesson that you need to execute for next week, and if you do it right, good job, you get to go on to the next thing. If you don't do it right, well, you didn't do it right, you didn't practice enough, you know, then you're kind of scolded in a way. Like that's not music. So yeah, and then that progressed, you know, that was like my very beginnings in like 5th grade, I think, 5th and 6th grade. And then in junior high, by junior high I was playing drum set. I had started taking lessons outside of school, and then it was playing in the jazz band. And so that was the first time that music like really got me, because all of a sudden it was really fun, you know, to be playing this beat and the band is playing, and then like you know, it started to really like make sense. Like, oh, this is cool. I like this whole thing. And performing, we got to perform, and other kids were giving me props all of a sudden, and that was the first time, you know, because I was always a nerdy kid. So, yeah, then music became cool, but at the same time, it was still the pressure to perform and the pressure to get it right. So all along throughout music for me, there's hardly a point where I was just like jamming with people. I did that in my room by myself, and that was kind of my own thing. That was the time when I was like free, when I was just in my room playing my drum set by myself, and started to, I don't know, it just experienced the joy of playing. Um, and when I was performing, there was that too, obviously. But at the same time, there was always like a little bit of background pressure. You got to do this right, play music right. There was never like, oh, music is free expression. Go ahead and just play whatever you want, make sound and have fun. um, so that's that's what I'm trying to go back into my own psyche and kind of, like I'll just play a rhythm and I'll just keep repeating it. Like today, and I'm doing it and it feels nice and easy. And then I find myself like getting into this kind of tensed, like working hard all of a sudden, and it's the same beat or whatever, but all of a sudden it's not easy. It's not this flowing thing, because my habit is to play from this place of tension, because of all the pressure through all the years. So that's really that's what this is all about, it's just over and over again playing the same rhythm for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and just trying to be relaxed about it the entire time. Just relax, chill, make it easy, make it easy. So I'll do little short meditations to try and clear my headspace right before I start, or if I get tense while I'm playing. And so that's why I think my muscles hurt and stuff like that. Like I feel like I'm doing fairly good for having just drummed for 9 days straight, pretty much. Like as far as soreness and stuff, I've definitely been more sore than this from playing Blue Man shows and going downtown and playing and all that. But I was really like going for it in those instances. And here I'm consciously trying to be relaxed, but I'm also doing it for long, long periods of time. So, yeah, trying to make it easy. So cool. Thanks for listening. This is a long video today, but I got this new technology here, so figured I'd give it a shot. All right, peace.